Hello, everybody. Hope y'all are having a great day and whatnot. So today, we're going to be talking about some Browns players that I feel like are being overlooked that could surprise a lot of people and actually take a pretty big step this next upcoming season. But before we do, I just want to address something that I said on Twitter because I feel like it's only fair that you guys know as well. Because I do know there are some of you who watch my videos and stuff and still follow me on Twitter, but there's also some of you who don't. So I feel like it's only fair for me to say this to you guys as well. So basically, yesterday I came public for the first time and said that basically, long story short, I deal with mental health issues, depression, and stuff like that. And I just wanted to state my gratitude to you guys because, the small things, talking about the Browns, the community, the fans, I had somebody leave a comment on one of my videos, and it was a bad day, and I know what that means for me. You guys don't. That's just something that I personally know what that means, if that makes sense. But it was not a good day. And I feel like if you've never gone through it, if you've never experienced it, it's hard to really know what that means. And I'm not saying this for attention, because I know people are going to roll their eyes and think, oh, he only wants people to feel bad for him or whatever. No, that's not what this is. I'm just saying this because I was having one of those really bad times, and I had gotten a comment that said basically, so excited about this team, where we're going, we came such a long way, and keep up the great work, essentially is what it said. And that really took me from, a really bad spot at that time to, that much better. And I just want you guys to know that I so greatly appreciate all your support and everything. And I'm not telling you guys this to alarm you or anything or to make you feel bad. I'm just saying I appreciate you guys so much. And, you know, like I said, unless you really have gone through it, it's hard to tell, or it's hard to know exactly what you deal with mentally daily. And I just really feel like I need to say thank you to you guys, and you guys truly don't know how much you mean to me, but you guys mean the world, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So I just wanted to get that out there. And yeah, so anyway, let's talk about some Browns players that I think are set and ready to take a big step in this next season. So some of these guys on this list you're going to see for the first time, and some of these guys have been on the team for a while. Let's start with number one. I think somebody that people are really overlooking that could take a huge step this next upcoming season is Harrison Bryant. Harrison Bryant was drafted out of FAU, guy who came in as a potential pick. People had compared him to George Kittle. And while I don't think that's a fair comparison, given where George Kittle is now, who I personally think is the best tight end in the league, versus a guy who was a rookie last year. I believe he was a fourth-round pick, not coming in with a whole lot of expectations, but the Browns picked him because of his talent. And he showed a lot of signs of great potential last year. And he did have his times where he struggled throughout the season last year, but there was some flashes of greatness. And based on some of the reports that I've heard, specifically from Ellis Williams, so shout out to him, I enjoy what he does. He said that Harrison Bryant is really bulking up this offseason and putting in a lot of work. And to me, I think that was one of my main concerns with Harrison Bryant is his size. I felt he was a little bit on the smaller side for a tight end, and I think given his skill set, if he put on more size, he could be fairly dominant, if he develops into that. And given what the reports are out on him, that he is doing that and he's working hard, I think he could potentially have a monster 2021 season and really surprise a lot of people. in his next role. So the next player that I think can take a really big step is somebody who is very under the radar. This is a guy that the Browns signed and everybody was like, oh, good, we got a linebacker. I think this guy is going to really show how good he is game one. And I think people are going to be really surprised with how reliable he is and how good he is. And that's Anthony Walker. I think Anthony Walker was a signing that was a must. When we were visiting with him, that was somebody that I had really locked in on as we have got to lock this guy up. We need somebody like him to take the pressure off of somebody like a Jacob Phillips, and we can kind of, figure out the linebacking room from there. Have a real veteran, captain, smart guy in that linebacking core, and I think people overlook this signing. The linebacking room was the worst position on the team last year, and I think now it has some holes, but I think it's definitely filled in and is now reliable. And I think starting with Anthony Walker, that's going to free up so much for the Joker, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and as I've nicknamed him, I'm seeing some people start to use that. So I'm not taking credit for that, but I'm just saying that needs to catch on because, like I said, Joker traps you, so does JOK. So, anyway, Anthony Walker, to me, I think is a signing that people are going to really be surprised how good he is. And I hope that he can be here long term if he's as good as I'm thinking he's going to be. You look at Darius Leonard's reaction when he left, I think that says a lot. So, I'm expecting Anthony Walker to play really, really good at a high level for the Browns and surprise a lot of people. So this next guy is one of the most controversial Browns players I think there's been in a long time, and that's Greedy Williams. I think if Greedy can get back healthy, he is going to shock a lot of people. Greedy has been written off time after time. People are acting like Greedy is not talented at all, like he's not a good player, like he's not a good fit. And I think the opposite. I think Greedy, if he can get healthy, can really shock a lot of people. And I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying this, but Greedy is coming out of college, he was one of, if not the best, man corners in that draft. Just complete lockdown, sticks to guys, ball hawk, just a monster. Go watch his college film. When he came into the NFL, he was not as good as I thought he would be, but he had a decent season. He was hurt a lot. He wasn't inconsistently. That season was a mess. That team was a mess. So I think people are unfairly writing Greedy Williams off right now, and I think if he comes back healthy, he can shock a lot of people. Now, I don't think he's going to get a huge role, and that's why I think it's going to benefit him, because it's going to allow him to come back at his own time, and they're going to be able to use him situationally. I think he's a primarily outside guy, but let's just say for whatever reason, Denzel Ward's a little bit banged up, because Denzel Ward has an injury history, and so if the Browns can rotate and bring in Greedy and rely on him, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. And all these people that are saying, oh, we should just cut him, why is he even on the team? I think those are the people that are going to be really shocked by the production from Greedy Williams if he can get back and be healthy. Keep in mind that he's had a full offseason now to really learn and experience the NFL game other than his rookie year. I think Freddie Kitchens and that whole team, people are writing off some guys from that year, you know what I mean? But I think it's a lot to do with coaching, and I think if Greedy can get back healthy, his talent will show. So another guy that could potentially make a huge jump is somebody we have not seen yet. And the reason why I say a huge jump is because people are kind of writing him off, same with Greedy, as, we can't rely on this guy. And that's Grant Delpit. Grant Delpit was an absolute steal. Just like JOK was this past draft, Grant Delpit was an absolute steal in the second round. And the Browns were able to trade back a few spots and still get him. Now, Grant Delpit got hurt, had a bad injury, torn his Achilles. He's working. He's getting back. He looks great. He looks to be in some of the best shape of his life. He's now had a full season to learn the defense, get the playbook down, see how it's done. And he's a guy who's lucky enough to have the same defense. You know, you look at the past years, it's constant change. This Joe Woods defense that they've been wanting to run has always been there, but it's never been able to be executed. And now that they have all the pieces, I think it's go time. And I think for Grant Delpit, he's a guy that's going to turn a lot of heads because people are, like I said, writing him off for no reason. And I think once he gets in the game and once he gets going, people are going to go, oh, okay, that's the guy we drafted. And I think people are going to be really surprised. Grant Delpit was a phenomenal player. He was the best safety in college his last year, given that award. I believe it's the Thorpe Award. And he was phenomenal. He's a great player. He's a guy that because the Browns drafted JOK and because they brought in the players they have, he can do a lot of the same things that JOK can do as far as the versatility aspect deep into the secondary. He's going to be able to fly around. He's going to be able to come off the edge. I can't wait to see what he does in the next level. So the next player, wrapping up here, is somebody that is... It's going to be interesting to see his role this year because this is a guy that I thought could be a starter. But now the way that things have played out, I don't see that happening. But I think his talent will still show regardless this season, not off season, but this season. And I think that's Jacob Phillips. I think you've seen a lot of potential with him. He was a third-round pick the draft before out of LSU. He brings a lot of what the Browns are going to want to do. I think he's a little bit faster than a guy like a Taki. He's more versatile than a guy like a Taki. He's way better than Mack Wilson. He's a guy that has all the tools. He's got the great size. And I think he plays at a really high level for what the Browns need to do against teams like the Ravens. And I bring the Ravens up specifically because I think the Browns might look to use more linebackers. You know, the Browns are going to use two linebackers a lot this season. They're going to run that 4-2-5. I think against teams like the Ravens, they're going to do a traditional three linebacker set. And I think when you look at Anthony Walker, JOK, and Jacob Phillips, I think that's what they're going to roll with there. So I think he's going to have his opportunities to prove himself. And I think he's really going to take that next step. He's been working really, really hard. And I think he's going to do special things. And I think I said the last guy when I said Jacob Phillips, but I think I have to throw this guy in because I love him so much, and that's DPJ. Everybody's talking about this wide receiver room, bringing in Anthony Schwartz, who's going to play, who's not going to play, OBJ's back, whatever. Donovan Peoples-Jones proved his talent this past season. And I was clamoring for him 24/7. Get him on the field. He's going to make plays for you. And what did he do? He only went and won the Cincinnati game for you. Made the game-winning catch. He had some big-time plays as a rookie. And I think he's primed and ready to take that next step. I would not be surprised if eventually Donovan Peoples-Jones is a legitimate number 1 or number 2 receiver in the NFL. He's got the talent. He's got the ability. I think he just needs to work on his speed. And I think now that OBJ's back, if OBJ can work with the Browns, it's going to free up DPJ in a little bit of a role that fits him better. And I think that's perfect for the Browns. And I think that he could potentially take that next step. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little bit slower than I'm hoping it to be as far as him going to that next level, just because of the depth at wide receiver now and the different guys they have. But there are legitimate chances and options for DPJ to be a real game changer. So I'm looking forward to it. Let me know your thoughts. What are some names that you think could really take the next jump for the Browns this season? So let me know your thoughts, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.